Hello and welcome everyone to season 3, episode 4 of the College Chess Podcast. My name's Joe, and I'm joined once again by our co-host Max, and our very special guest today is the one and only Shippensburg Chess Club president Nathan Ziegler. Nate Dog, as some refer to you as.
Nate Dog.
Welcome. How's it going?
It's going great. This is my first time being the guest on a podcast, and I really respect everything you guys do. So this is awesome. I'm glad to be here.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah. So you mentioned doing your own podcast. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, for the longest time, I'm going to go further back than you think I am. At the end of my freshman year of college, I really, really wanted to start a podcast. That was like 2022, the spring of 2022. And I was just like, I should start a podcast. I'll call it the College Chess Podcast. And it's going to be, I'll like make it all about college chess. It's going to be great. And then I never got around to it. And then I saw you guys doing it. And I was like, this is crazy. This is so good. Like, this is awesome. And then that gave me enough motivation to actually do it. I've not been consistent. I find it hard to make the time and get everything scheduled. And then I do not feel like my forte is long form conversation, but that's what I wanted to do in the first place. But I have maybe 4 or 5 episodes. I have one that I haven't updated yet. I have one where I interviewed Mauricio about the college ambassador program, and I think it's just a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah. It's definitely difficult to be consistent. Shout out Joe. He's always ready to go every Thursday. You know, sometimes I'm feeling a little tired, and he's like, "Nah, man, we're doing this." And now we're on season 3, which is crazy. But hopefully we didn't steal your idea too much.
No, you have to reach in my brain to get that one.
I love that you said you had to go way back to 2022. Like, that was not. Well, yeah, shout out to Mauricio, our former co-host on the podcast, and it was awesome that you had him on an episode of yours. And I actually listened to that back when it came out. So yeah, it's been a while, but we try to go strong here. I know Max maybe sometimes it's last minute decision, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's cool. You made a college chess podcast of your own at Shippensburg. When's the next episode coming out?
I don't know. Whenever I get around to editing it. Like the one that I did with Aryan, I love Aryan. Shout out to Aryan. He's been on the podcast here before. I listened to that one. That one I live streamed. That's the only one I've live streamed. And that one went so smoothly, but most of the time there's a lot of pauses and gaps. And then I'm like, I want to edit this. And so I don't know, maybe in a week or two. I have one where I talk with my advisor, the advisor of the chess club, about Pan Am's. We just we deep dive into our experience going there for the first time. So maybe in the next 2 weeks. It's the Ship Chess Podcast. Ship, what you ride on, what you sail on, and then chess, as in chess. So
you can still ride on a ship, right?
I don't know.
Shout out the Ship Chess Club. Can we get a link in the chat for that? Maybe look that up, or you could share with maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just Instagram, Ship Chess.
Ship Chess, okay.
Spotify, Ship Chess. Oh,
nice.
You guys gotta get on Spotify. I've been waiting for so long. I listen to all my podcasts on Spotify. You guys gotta get on.
We gotta throw the podcast on Spotify. I guess we're so streaming focused. I gotta ask though, since you mentioned it, maybe a little preview, but how did it go at Pan Am's this year?
It's
when you said it was the first time.
Yeah, it was the first time. It took a lot of planning, because we didn't get any travel funding from our university or anything, and being in Shippensburg, so we drove 26 hours to get there.
Right. Can I quickly ask? So Shippensburg is in Pennsylvania, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
How far away from a major city is it? Or Shippensburg is a major city to you?
Harrisburg, the nation's capital. Pennsylvania's capital. It's an hour away, and we're 3 hours away from Philly, 3 hours away from Pittsburgh.
Dang. So are you in a mountainous area?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I would
Damn,
say
that's
so.
pretty cool. Okay, but anyway, back to the story. 26 hours of driving, which is crazy.
Yeah. And so we had to like plan back in May. We reserved the Airbnb houses, and we had to figure out the drivers. We had deposits due in like October and December or whatever. But it was really nice. We fielded three teams and three cars. And the B team. So all of us were in the under 1800 section. I was board 2 for team A, and we did not do that good. But team B, they tied for 5th, and they had a shout out to Nash Campbell. He won the biggest upset. He was rated 900 and he beat an 1800 or something like that, which is awesome.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
And
though.
so yeah, so overall, it was such a good experience, and the Texan weather was awesome. I was wondering, like, I wonder if chess.com was sending the college growth managers there. So my eyes were like peeled open, seeing if you guys were there or not.
You missed
but
us the year before. We were
That's
there
so sad.
in Seattle, 2023.
We just
So-
missed.
So yeah, but yeah, it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it, and my eyes are peeled for the national tournaments page on the USCF website to see when they announce the location for the next one. I'm like checking every day.
Yeah, so I think that's a bidding process. Event organizers essentially pitch to USCF where they want to host it, and USCF decides. So I'm not sure when that'll be, but it's exciting that you guys are going to try to go back again, and hopefully it's a little bit closer than a 26-hour drive for you next year.
I hope so too. Yeah,
Happen when it's in LA. Oh no.
Yeah, maybe
we'll
we
have to
could.
figure something out.
So yeah, you mentioned keeping your eyes peeled for USCF tournaments, particularly Pan Ams, but I know you might be hosting one of your own. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. For the first time in a long time, during my time, I guess, back in 2017, there was a couple of people who did some USCF stuff over the OTB tournaments at the university. But like, this is the first time I'm doing one. Our university is doing it since like a decade or something. So it's gonna be awesome. Like, it's gonna be just a 1-day event, like $5 for unrated players and $15 for people who already have a rating. And I think it's gonna be a good starting point. And my hope is that it'll like low commitment, low cost, and that people will feel a bit motivated to join and hopefully get bit by the bug. That's my evil plan. That like I hope I can convince enough people to join that, and once they do, they're stuck, they're hooked.
That's a great plan, honestly. Accessibility is a great way to get more people to join, making it as accessible as possible, really.
Yeah, I love that. So are there any other I know Philadelphia oftentimes hosts like the World Open. Are there other USCF tournaments in your area that you have been to or plan on going to in the future?
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm calling out all Pennsylvania's universities. Go to the state championship in Harrisburg on March 16th and 17th. We've talked to you guys in person at Pan Am's. I told you guys to come. You better go. Philadelphia Schools Temple, why aren't you there? Come on over. Last year, it was just us and a school from Massachusetts. So,
we can't have that. We just had Temple on. We just had Temple on. We got to call up Jeffrey and tell him that this is unacceptable. There's no representation.
Yeah, just go on the turnpike and you'll be there. From Pittsburgh or Philly's go on the turnpike and you'll be in Harrisburg just fine. So that one I'm definitely absolutely I want to bring as much people to. Last year at States we brought 14 people, which was nice. And I think it's also just a very low commitment compared to other tournaments like Pan Am's. Sorry, my camera is a bit weird. It's gonna keep doing that. It has a tendency to like flash weirdly and stuff. But yeah, States is a great tournament. I love it so much. And like the way that works is that like the top 4 scorers in any section, their points get added up, and the university that has the highest score wins the top college prize. And so it's really nice because they're not incentivizing the highest rated player to come. They're invited the highest number of players to come. Because if you have like a 20 players, your odds of winning just like goes up exponentially. So So that's what I really like about that event. It's one of the few tournaments that have a college prize, and that's what we really prioritize when I'm like, okay, what tournaments we're going to go to as a club. It's clubs that where we represent the university, and so I'm really excited for that one in particular.
That's really great that they have a college prize. There should be more of those. I mean, it's perfect. Like you said, you're prioritizing those. Well,
Did you say
I guess. No, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
last year did Massachusetts? You said Massachusetts sent the team.
I don't know. I don't know which. I forget which university. It wasn't the UMass. It was like
UMass
It was a,
Amherst. No.
no. It was a different one. I
Different
forget.
UMass, UMass
Man,
Lowell, UMass Boston,
I don't know. I don't know if it has Mass in its name. I just remember my advisor being like,
They're
or
from
someone saying,
Massachusetts.
yeah, they were
MIT,
from Massachusetts. So.
Harvard.
I don't remember the name. I think they went because like one of the people that went to that school, they live in Pennsylvania and they know
Okay,
about the tournament. So like, I don't
cool.
know. It's kind of
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that leads me to my next question. Is there like a Discord server or a group of chess club leaders or presidents that all go to Pennsylvania schools to keep in touch? Is there like something like that that exists, or is that not really a thing?
as far as I know, no. Um, but honestly, I'm kind of talking to some people to kind of go in that direction. Like it's super cool. Shout out to Moravian University, Michael. I love Michael. Shout out to Michael. Because we're talking about getting like we got in touch like a week ago from the CCL actually. I joined this like new Discord for Stroudsburg Chess Club and I saw Michael playing in CCL season 20. I was like, oh, I should, hit him up in the DMs. And so, we started talking and stuff. And now he's invited me to a chess meet with Lafayette and Lehigh. On like February 10th. And so it's going to be super cool to kind of like start finally gaining communication with these other people. And and so and I really do want to start like long term, big picture. I would love for, there's a US chess college committee, but what about like a Pennsylvania, chess committee like that, have that, infrastructure in place and then have like, every university who wants to send a representative, they send a representative and that committee decides where, like, because states is, a college championship, but it's not a team event. What if we have a team event in addition to states that, not stepping on the toes of states, but that's organized like Pan Am's, a team event, and like we have a college committee that decides where it is every year, and like I think that would be really really cool. But so right now I think that's we're a long ways away from that. Um,
That
but
sounds awesome, but yeah, you're probably right then.
I could go on and on about like different ideas, but like that's. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Joe, because I think lines of communication do need to be opened. So yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it helps out. I was gonna ask, I guess, you're motivated, which is freaking awesome. How did you get to the position of being president? How long have you been president? We got Nick in the chat who's saying that what did I read here? Oh, he got timed out by Moobot. That's so funny. He said, when is Coach Julio getting on the pod? And he also shouted you out.
Coach Julio.
That's from Dallas.
Gotcha.
Nick, you got timed out. That's so funny because you posted the YouTube link. But anyway, I guess I wanted to hear the story of how you became Shippensburg president. That's what I really wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that, by the time I started college, we already had a pretty well instated chess club that's existed since 2010-ish. And, which is nice because I think it's so much easier to do something, grow something that already exists as opposed to making something new. Like shout out to all the, the universities that are starting their own chess clubs. That's so hard. Like, you have to figure a lot of stuff out and there's no historical data on what to do and how to do it. And so, but yeah, so when I joined, it was pretty early on. It was pretty apparent that I was the most passionate person there. Like I was always telling people like, oh my gosh, in Baltimore, almost 2 hours away, there's a tournament. We gotta go, and that's my freshman year. And I convinced other people to come with me and stuff like that. And then and I would always be the last person there at chess club and stuff like that. So when it came time for elections at the end of my freshman year, when they were asked like who wants to run for president, people pointed at me, and I didn't even say
Yeah.
anything. And and now I'm in my junior year, and I'm still president for now. I mean, I hope I get elected again, but we'll have to see.
You were elected as
Yeah.
a man of the people.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the origin story.
I mean,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely a leader, and I love that you're sharing these ideas. And I do hope that you can maybe open up some sort of server or way of communicating with the rest of the Pennsylvania schools. You already mentioned a lot of them. I feel like University of Pennsylvania would be another good one to add to the list. I don't think they're playing in the CCL, unfortunately, but yeah, keep us updated there. We'd love to support a statewide college chess tournament, something similar to Pan Am's, but just for the state. I know a lot of other schools or states are doing something similar, or at least trying to. I know like Florida, Massachusetts, California. I feel like their schools are pretty connected. University of Illinois in general, I feel like their high schools did something like that. And now once everyone goes to college, like they're still pretty connected. So I think it's important that we do these kind of state regional tournaments. But enough about USCF. Let's talk about some other things that I've learned a little bit about you, Nathan. So apparently you've helped add chess as an intramural sport at your school. Is that right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I worked with the associate director in the Department of Recreation to get it to be with all the other intramurals. Because like it's not like they have like a trademark on the word intramural. You can do like, well, I don't know, intramural, whatever you want. But like, but doing it with a department in the university is really cool because all their marketing, you're a part of that. And because I'm the president of the table tennis club too, and so I'm already very familiar with that guy from club sports. And so one of the meetings I was just like, so can you tell me about intramurals, how they work, and what you want with it? And the moment that he said, my goal is to make club sports and intramurals the biggest thing on campus, I was like, I know this guy's gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this guy, because he started talking about like he wants different kinds of students to join intramurals. I was like, dude, I got it. And so basically how it worked was that there would be a couple nights during the week where we had these pairings. I did teams of 3 because I wasn't confident there'd be enough teams with teams of 4. Like I was just like, I'll do teams of 3, even though it's kind of weird. But in chess standards, because one team would have 2 blacks or 2 whites, and so it's kind of weird from that standpoint. But I was like, I think for these purposes, I think it'll do the job. And then I think we had like 6 teams join, which is awesome. Like, okay, that's super dope. And basically, I ran most of it. I basically acted like a TD, and I had to kind of like micromanage, and I worked with him to make the pairings, and we worked together to make the schedule and stuff like that. And so, if you have someone at your university who's open to it, like I was just sending an email if you don't know them personally. But most likely they'll be open to it because if their goal is to make intramurals big and they want to get different kinds of students, then it's like almost an easy thing to do. Like, I think one thing for me was that I didn't really have the rules fleshed out because it's never I kept looking online for examples and there are basically none. And so I didn't really figure out that well. Like for example, like order of players, like board 1, board 2, board 3. I was just like, nah, just decide at the beginning of each match. Just like, it's like whatever. Like I don't care. Like that was a horrible choice. Then there's like people are just like trying to game the system, trying to figure out which board they should put in front of the other one. I just like, oh my god, like that was dumb. And so that's one of the pain points was that like the rules weren't really fleshed out. And that's just an example. But overall, it was a big success. And like it's awesome when you go into the Department of Recreation, like you go or the rec center, it's called the Shipwreck because we're Shippensburg. Like you walk in and you see the big wall of like intramural champions, and then you see soccer, dodgeball, like basketball, and then in the smack dab in the middle, you like chess champions. And then I walk by, and then I hear just like chess. And it's like, whoa, that's cool. Like, what? Like, I can't believe I can't believe that just happened. And so, like, I would like highly suggest if for any university, like just reach out to that department. It might not be called Department of Recreation. It might be called something else, but like almost every university has a page on IM leagues where they put all the club sport information. They have like a monopoly. I don't know why. Like I don't know why IM leagues is so popular with universities. Yeah,
That's
I
what I
don't
use too.
know. So and if you can get chess listed on there along with the other stuff, like that's great. Like and what ended up happening was that there weren't that many like new people that I haven't seen before, but a lot of people who played chess and went to chess club like once, they were in it. I was like, oh cool, like you don't usually come to chess club, but like you're able to go to this. And for example, like I suck at volleyball. Well, like I would if I had friends that wanted to do a volleyball like intramural, I was like, okay, sure. Like I'm not gonna win. I'm gonna miss every time. But like, so if you can bring that same mentality to be like, oh, it's just intramural. It's like, sure, why not? I'm like, hey, you could get pretty far with it.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. I know that UCLA started intramural chess a couple years ago, but I never imagined making it a team sport, which is funny because like how you described making it I am at Shippensburg is really reminds me of starting the CCL, right? So you kind of have your own CCL within your own school through IM. But UCLA's intramural chess is individuals, which makes things a little bit easier, I feel. But I love that team component because, like you said, like if you have friends that are like, hey, can you help me make a team? Can you join our chess intramural? Like that's a great way to introduce the game of chess to new people.
Was the intramural OTB?
Yeah, it was like luckily, like once again, like I'm very lucky and fortunate that like I joined a chess club, a university that had a chess club that existed since 2010. Like we have enough boards and clocks to support that, but but it's really nice to have chess.com as another resource for people who might be like who might have a newer chess club.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, UCLA does their IM chess online, but Dallas, I believe, Nick in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe UT Dallas also has set up chess as an intramural sport. So I'm like hoping more schools can set that up. I feel like it's a no-brainer, but I appreciate you shouting out all the other viewers to set that up at their school. If we have any other ambassadors or club leaders or aspiring chess club members tuning in, listening. So yeah, that's what we're all about is spreading the game of chess on college campuses, and intramural sports is a great way to do that.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I mean, Nate said it himself, like these like that helps bring so much like legitimacy and more reach for the chess club itself too. Like if you can get it in intramural, like make an intramural sport. And like you said, you just gotta contact people. I mean, like in college, there's all these people that their job is to, like you said, grow intramurals or make sure intramurals is running well. If you find that person's contact, they're gonna at least hear you out. Like chess is not like, yeah, if you do it online, you literally barely need anything. You know, you don't need a lot of equipment. But OTB is pretty freaking
You
cool.
need a
Yeah,
computer.
and then also another component to what you were saying, Max, is that also it's very like low, like you don't really need a bunch of people overviewing to get it done. Like, and
Yeah.
that's like one thing that the person I was talking to in that department was one of his concerns is that like like his staff, like, he's at capacity with the amount of staff he can like provide for that type of stuff. And so like, okay, I'll just volunteer, like run the whole thing. You only need me. Like, you only need like one person to like govern and oversee it. And so, but like think about like soccer, you need like line judges or whatever they're called.
Referees. Yeah.
Line
Referees.
judges. Yeah.
Like you and like or like football, you need like a lot of people for like referees, I guess mostly. But for chess, you can like have lots of boards and like have one person, and so very low effort, but like it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, no, like it soccer. You might also need like waivers and stuff. People can get hurt. You can't really get hurt in chess
Hey,
for
you
now. I
you
mean,
could
maybe
get
some back
some
pain.
some chess boxing maybe. But
Ooh,
shout out to Hunter Wiz joining the podcast live. Shout out to Hunter. He's former podcast member himself. So
yeah, shout out.
um, good to see him. And I think he's actually covering a lot of Benjamin Bach matches, who maybe we'll try to get Bach in as a podcast guest one of these days. Although
Yeah,
we,
CCT. How did he do, Hunter? If you're watching, how did he do?
yeah, any update? Also, what up, Kirby? Good to see you. But welcome, everyone. We're interviewing Nathan Ziegler, president of the Shippensburg Chess Club out in Pennsylvania. So we're talking about college chess, and he's played a large part in growing chess in his state and his school. And we're just talking about intramural sports and how chess fits in there. But also, Nathan, another fun fact about you, I believe, is that you uh, used to intern at chess.com. Is that also true?
Oh yeah, that was a great experience. Shout out to Aryan again. We had the same position, um, and the strategic partnerships intern over this past summer, and that was really cool opportunity. And yeah, I just being able to be in meetings with like some important people. I mean, important to me at least. Like all these chess.com people, it's so awesome.
Yeah, important to me too, low key.
And I mean, you're an important part of that as well, Nathan. I mean, you made the team, and like you're one of our ambassadors, and I think that's really cool. Like it seems that you're really utilizing as many resources that are available to you as possible. You're using your school admins, you're using funding resources, the club itself, you're using chess.com, the ambassador program, and that's a great reason why we're loving to have you on here because you're advertising essentially to everyone else like, hey, listen, this is cool stuff that I'm doing at my club, and anyone else out there can do it too. So I definitely recommend people check out our ambassador program if you are a college chess student, because there's a lot of cool opportunities out there for you, being on the podcast as you see here, but also maybe even interning at chess.com. That's a huge thing you can add to your resume for getting jobs in the future.
Yeah, that's no joke. Like I just to talk a little bit about, my experience applying. Like I thought there's no way I'm gonna get this. Like I'm like I am not a qualified individual. I was like there's no possible chance. But then of course, like my friends, they're just like, Nathan, you're good. I'm like, but like I'm like, no, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. But it's so, that, if you feel like you're not good enough or you might not get it, you just gotta go for it. What's worse that can happen?
No, it's honestly so true that like what's the worst that could happen? And also like that's one thing I've learned over my not so long career is that like if you put yourself in the position, you never know. Like maybe, yeah. Like and yeah, you just gotta believe in yourself realistically. Like why not? Why not?
That's what I was gonna say. That's how Max got his job here.
That's sort of how I got my job here. In a
uh,
roundabout way.
no, Max is actually the OG University Growth Manager at chess.com. So
In a sense. Yeah, the OG growth manager.
it's
But you
true.
were in the trenches of CCL well before me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I ran CCL for 2 seasons before I got a job, actually. So it's just a passion project, a hobby. And like it started for me as being chess club president at school and organizing chess tournaments myself. So just a little, I guess, short monologue of me saying, follow your dreams, because,
But
you never know what's going to happen. So for
Follow
me,
I've
your
it
been
ended
dreams.
up being a career.
Make sure you can still pay your rent.
Yeah.
that's true too. That's true too. Joe, I gotta ask. Like, I've been dying to know ever since I heard you first talk about it. I don't know if you elaborated this in another thing, in a stream or something like that. But when you like brought up the CCL to Danny, like I need to know like the words said. Like, was he like? Were you prepared? Did you like have a whole thing prepared? Like,
It
did
was
you
an
did
email.
you work on your pitch? It was an email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So So
Just a
I,
picture of a meme.
I can give you guys some CCL lore here.
Okay.
Basically, like I said, I was chess club president at UCLA. I graduated 2018. 2019, I was essentially taking a gap year, trying to find a job, working in research. I was pre-med originally, but even as at UCLA, I was constantly trying to compete against other chess clubs at other schools. So for a few years, we did something locally in LA, inviting other schools. We started something called the California Intercollegiate Chess League, which still has the Discord server running. It's kind of quiet in there, but it's a way to connect with the other California chess clubs. And essentially, we would do an annual tournament in April, hosted at UCLA, inviting all the other local schools. I personally never attended Pan Am's or competed at Pan Am's. In fact, didn't really even hear about it until pretty late, but obviously pretty expensive tournament to go to. And I just remember thinking, even at the time, like, why is there not more college chess tournaments, right? Like, we had US amateur team, but even then, that's like colleges could compete if they wanted to, but it's mainly for other teams, like anyone could play. So, uh, 2019 was a big year for me because I got my first job and I learned about Pro Chess League Finals, which was hosted in person in San Francisco, which just a short plane ride from me in LA. So I was like, I got to go to this Pro Chess League thing and check it out because it's really cool. And I saw that and was like, this is what we need for college chess. Like, this is it. So essentially, Collegiate Chess League is just a copy of Pro Chess League. Met Danny Rynch there in person, but I didn't pitch it to him there. I just was hanging out, networking, essentially, meeting a bunch of other streamers. That's actually where I got this board behind me signed by a bunch of other streamers, Danny himself. But after the event, I sent him an email saying, hey, I have all this experience at California doing chess tournaments for schools, really inspired by Pro Chess League. Let's make the Collegiate Chess League a thing. And that's essentially where it all started. He gave me the green light, the thumbs up, and added a bunch of other chess.com staff members to help me out. And that's where we started making all of these like college chess club pages on chess.com. And I came out with the CCL format, did all the outreach for essentially the West Coast teams. They had someone help me invite some East Coast teams. And yeah, March 2020, a lot of schools initially, they didn't want to play because they only wanted to play OTB, but that was exactly the same time as COVID. So that essentially canceled all the OTB tournaments. And a lot of chess clubs were like, hey, if we can't compete over the board, we might as well do this CCL thing. So that's the origin story of the CCL.
Damn, crazy that classic like COVID is like very, very, very bad. But then there are some random things that were actually okay.
Yeah.
So
So
jumpstart
Story.
CCL.
first season we had about 30 schools, maybe like 33 schools, I think 330 players, something like that. And this season now we're at over 180 schools, 20 countries, over 2,000 players. Was it 376 teams, 24 divisions? So and it's only been 4 years. So yeah.
Crazy. Actually crazy.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I love to talk about CCL, of course. So, but yeah, like our format has changed. Like our very first season, we did double elim bracket for the entirety of the season because we didn't have the format that we have today. Season 2 is where we came up with the new format, 16 teams in a division, round robin, regular season for 8 teams in a group, and then single elim playoffs. And that was really a great format. I think a lot of people like that, and that's the format we've stuck to today. The only difference is we made Division 1 8 teams instead of 16 because there's a huge gap between some of the top schools. And we're still trying to add more schools. So, and what I think makes the CCL so successful is the ability for anyone of any rating to join and the flexibility that it gives. So we have multiple divisions. whereas Pan Am's only starting last year did they add an under 1800 section. So like
That
stuff
was
like that.
really that was last year is when they started that.
Yeah, and Pan Am's has been going on since like the 40s, I think. Um,
Shoot.
I don't know, but yeah, Pan Am's is cool. I think CCL, we've seen huge success thanks to the flexibility we give and being online as well. Really low cost to enter as well as prize funds. So yeah, and Shippensburg has a couple teams, yeah.
This season we only have one. We only have one this time around. But yeah, last season we were like sort of two, and then like so we always bounce around. I always find it a bit hard to get people to be consistent online. I don't know if it's something with rural Pennsylvania chess players. I don't know, or something like that. But I would love to get some like feedback on something that I just started this semester. I started a speed chess championship league for my university, where like every week we're gonna have an arena on like Mondays at 6, and then the top, and like if you get first place, you get like 4 league points, second 3, third 2, whatever, and then like the people who have the most amount of league points at the end of the season, they move on to OTP playoffs. So I thought that was like a nice, neat twist on it. And so I'm hoping to like try to like I need to like grab a hold of like these online players. I know they exist, but like but we have a decent amount of people who just like don't play that much online. And so that's been a little bit of a struggle to get like a lot of online consistency.
How have you guys been doing? I guess so. You only have one team. What division are you in, and how did it go
I
this last
I think
weekend?
we're in Division 13. Our team is so lopsided. We have like, well, I guess there are worse teams, but or more lopsided teams, I should say. Like because we're in Division 13, I think. Our board one, he's 2000 blitz. Board two, that's me. I just went back over 1700, and then we have like two people who are 1200. So it's very like lopsided here and there. And so I believe we lost to Valoran Institute of Technology in India. I'm probably butchering it. But yeah, we lost to them. It was like 9-7 or 10-7, something like that. And
I
so
mean, it's not so bad.
yeah, and then we won our first match. So hopefully we can bounce back on the 10th or something.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're still early on in the season, but to answer about the speed chess championship you're doing, I think that's a great idea. I think that it's really cool to you have like online qualifiers over the board kind of playoff championship kind of thing.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, chess.com has their own speed chess championship, right? And CCL was inspired by PCL, which was run by chess.com. So I feel like there's a lot of cool tournament formats out there. CCT is happening right now, which is kind of crazy. But like, yeah, Speed Chess Championship, like seriously, look at any other pre-existing format and like see if you have your own ideas. You can edit that, you can twist it, you can copy it like one to one and just do that. Um, so essentially like CCL's formation, I was looking a lot at Pan Am's, looking at Pro Chess League, and just kind of took the best from both, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that your tournament sounds really fun, and I hope that you guys can get a lot of players involved in it, and maybe we can help out with some like prizes or something. And same with any other like tournament that you guys run, especially if you were to do like a state college tournament, we would love to see and support that. So people can reach out to us. We're on Discord. Highly recommend people to join that. Also, you can reach out to my email, which should be pretty easy to find. It should just be ccl@chess.com.
Yeah.
But also, my personal email at the company is joe.lee@chess.com, which is easy. Also, the reason why I was able to email Danny is because his is just danny@chess.com. So
We're
everyone's
not saying spam Danny, but
no, I'm not saying to spam him, but I'm saying he's very easily. You can reach out pretty much any chess.com staff member pretty easily, and I encourage you guys to reach out to us with your ideas because we love to hear them, and essentially we're just here to promote chess, right? So if Danny wasn't very easily reached or excited to respond to people, I wouldn't be here today. So yeah, shout out to
True.
Danny's email. But Anyways, Brody's gonna email all. Great. No, I look for. I mean, Brody has my Discord at a minimum, uh, and I've gone out and visited him. So, anyways, is Max gonna play Nathan? Dude, that's a great question. In fact, we might have some history between these two.
No, I mean, listen, Nathan is much higher rated than me, and I played a great game against him. But he played with 90% accuracy, and all I have to say is that it's interesting. Okay, it's just interesting.
Yeah, we might not have a scene set up for the podcast chess match like we used to. I think that was more Mauricio's role.
Yeah.
Max, I don't know how well he plays under pressure on camera, you know.
I do, yeah, it's not a big deal for me, really.
But Nathan, you said that you streamed the last podcast episode. Are you gonna get more into chess streaming?
Oh man, all this like technology stuff, I don't know. I'm not very adept at it. If I had like an assistant
An
that could like help
assistant,
me out with some of this,
I mean, he's
maybe.
president of two
that'd be
clubs.
great.
Yeah, man's
Like,
president too. So, okay. The reason why I ask as well is because Sir Chess-a-lot in chat, shout out to Lance Fernandez from Vanguard. He's been streaming regularly. So if anyone is interested, yeah, he says that he's going to volunteer to be your assistant, Nathan.
Oh, actually, yeah, wait. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
hit me up on Discord.
even me, like, seriously, if anyone out there is like, ooh, I'm thinking about streaming, but I don't know how to do it, I don't know where to start, seriously, email me, DM me, Discord me, like, send a pigeon. I will help anyone and everyone set up a chess.com stream or a college chess stream or any chess stream, you name it. Personal account, school account, doesn't matter to me. We're trying to get more streamers out there, and I feel like Shippensburg could definitely have some potential there, streaming your CCL matches on Saturdays or on the arenas on Sundays or anytime. You said that you guys are doing your SCC version. Like, there's a lot of chess tournaments out there that are begging to be streamed because otherwise people maybe aren't going to hear about it. It's good advertising. It's good to keep the legacy going. You can make your tournaments an annual thing, a monthly thing, weekly thing, whatever you want to do. I think there's a ton of potential there, and so we're trying to encourage as many chess clubs to stream as possible.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where after you get started doing it a few times or more, then it's like, then it's easy. Like then you don't have to think about it. You can just boot it up real quickly and just like do a lot of stuff. And so yeah, it's a great idea though. And I think I did message you one time just asking like, so if I have like 4 people that use that all stream on the same account, like should we make a new chess.com account? Or should we like? And so there are people. I need to get it organized, or I need to ask someone else to organize it for me at the at our university. Ask someone else to organize a streaming schedule or something. But
Your VP or your secretary.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the staff always keeps getting larger and larger.
Social media manager. Lump Twitch under that. Unless you're doing it all.
Do you guys end up? Are you guys still looking for people for your social media?
Yeah, so we've narrowed it down to a couple applicants, but the form is still open if anyone wants to still apply. We're still deciding internally. We're still also debating, like, originally the idea was the intern would be running our Twitter to live tweet the D1 broadcast results. But we're rediscussing. Maybe we want them to be making like Instagram posts or short form content. So I feel like there's a lot of potential. The CCL socials used to just be run by me, and now that the CCL has grown a little bit and gotten some more love and attention, we actually have some professionals running the socials for the most part. I still have access to it, so sometimes people will DM, think they're talking to me, which is true, but I'm just letting you all know. You got to be aware because some other people have access to that as well. But I'm also pretty available on my own personal socials. So
yeah, I think that's just a good opportunity where like they could be so genuinely helpful and then also learn and also be part of chess.com. Like what a great opportunity for people. Not me. That's not my thing. I can't do that. That's too hard for me. But I hope like whoever gets that position, I hope they really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the people that applied are pretty passionate about it, and looking forward to see who we end up deciding on. Um, but yeah, I personally have never hired an intern before, so this is kind of new for me. So leaning on a lot of help from my coworkers. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough job. Like maybe we could give it to Max. I don't know.
Hello? I'm already managing another social media.
Yeah, Max, what's going on with the community side of things, Max? You got any quick shout outs?
Dude, shout out to the community Twitter at Green Pawns. Come like our memes. Also, also the chess.com community actually runs a lot of events. So if your chess club wants more chess, but obviously you're not meeting every day of the week, there's an Rapid Arena on Mondays. There's Untitled Tuesday on Tuesdays, and all of these have an, except for Community Bullet Brawl on Saturdays, but the other ones have an early and late. So you can play in class, and then you can play when you get home later. I'm not advocating for playing in class. I'm just suggesting.
Well, speaking of playing from class, Nathan, do you have any experience with that or any other
Mostly it's just researching chess related things in class. Like for example, today, I couldn't stop thinking about like college chess. And I was just like, let me research into it. And I sent like Discord messages in the server. I was in class. I was in class just like thinking about it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I just like, okay, well, that's this. And like, and if anyone like has information about how to start a chess program, like I don't think our school would be remotely interested in that. I mean, like, but I'll still do it. I'll still reach out. And so, like, so my biggest point is just like, okay, how do I convey that like chess is good and chess is important to them? Where's the evidence? Like, how am I gonna like what did other people do? I mean, usually it's an internal thing. So, how are they gonna react to a student's recommending it? Like, I don't know. And so usually I don't play, but like sometimes I'll be like researching like different. Like, I think I found the CCL while in class or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just there's so yeah, less playing and more looking at articles and reading stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. You mentioned getting a chess program at your school. There's obviously the top, 5 or 6 teams in the nation are through chess program. You could talk to Nick from UT Dallas a little bit more about that if you want. Just one example. But I recently saw an esports program add chess as like an official program, and they're trying to get a chess club started. This is some random school up in North Dakota. I think it's called Dickinson State, and I'm actually gonna put their esports link in
Oh
the
yeah, I
chat.
saw that.
So yeah, just because like maybe it seems random for a school like Shippensburg or any school really, like schools are doing this. Like maybe not like an official chess program or team like the scholarship schools have, but they are giving scholarships to chess players for esports. And Dickinson is one example, and maybe more schools can point and look at that. But another thing I wanted to mention is adding chess and education as a minor. Webster is the first school to do that. And there's some
Wow.
other schools that have professors teaching chess courses. I know Dallas, again, a great example. They have, I believe, woman international master Alexi Root, who is working there on staff, and it was one of our coworkers that I met at our last Pan Ams. But I believe USC also has an international master professor that has a chess course. So lots of potential there, and lots to talk about. But unfortunately, we're getting to the end of the show here. So, Nathan, I wanted to thank you again for being on here. You've been an incredible guest, an incredible ambassador of the sports, and club leader, and CCL captain and player. And I could go on. And that's just mentioning chess. You're the president at table tennis. Like,
Yes,
what
sir.
more can you do, man? So seriously, appreciate your time, and you're crushing out there. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're in Pennsylvania, hit me up. You can to mess me on the Discord, Nate Jam, NATEJAM, or DM me, and we can maybe get some PHS going on.
Yeah,
Huge.
for real. Thanks, Nathan, so much for coming on.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Shout out to our sponsor, SIG. And we have a bye week this weekend. So the reason is the KCF University Cup. So there's a link on that in the Discord. So join that if you haven't already. But yeah, stick around for the raid, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks again, and yeah, go college chess.
See y'all.